Well, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is on the Insta360 Go2, which is this little white thing you see here on my handlebars. So we're going to start the video with what is the Go2, because they brand it on their site as an action camera, and that's true to an extent, in that this camera here in front of me has everything that the GoPro on my helmet also has. Well, actually it has one feature more, because I have a GoPro 7 which doesn't have horizon lock, which is what the Go2 does have. So it has horizon lock, that's where it keeps the horizon steady no matter if you turn the camera around, which is cool for smoothing out videos. But if you want to get those sick lean angles and mount it like here on the front of your bike and really show some leaning, then it's going to take that away. But for normal daily riding, you know, for what you want, it's good for that. It has what Insta360 call their flow state, which is basically their equivalent of GoPro's hyper smooth. And what that does is it takes all these little bounces out of the footage. Now with Insta, it actually does this at the software level. So when you plug in your camera into your computer or onto your phone, you can at that point enable the hyper smooth or flow state, or you can enable the horizon lock. Now, that worth noting, those are only available in pro recording modes, because you have 720, 1080, then a higher one, I don't know. I always just record in 1080. So, but the pro mode on this camera is good, because what it does, and that is what this camera is used for and what I use it for, is very short, snappy videos. So like a minute, 2 minutes. And basically it's for Instagram Reels and TikTok. So you see, like today I'm recording a proper blog, so therefore I've got the GoPro because I need the longer footage. I need to be able to record my voice, and those are things that the Insta Go2 suffer with. The battery life is very short. You're looking at here, I've got it in the case, so in the case it will give you a longer time, like over half an hour, but out of the case, which is where you're going to use it mounted on your helmet, you only get about 20 minutes. So if you say in your head about 15 minutes in pro mode, and then when you plug it back into the case it charges. Now that may seem like a negative, but when you work with the camera it's actually really good. But when you first get it and you take it out of the box and you start playing about with it and you put it on your baseball cap and record, you find it overheats after 10 minutes and you're like, what? And then you got to wait 10 minutes for it to cool down. The buttons are a bit confusing. It just isn't as polished as, say, a GoPro is, where you got a screen, you can see what it's reading. It's very basic in the instructions that it's giving you, to the point where you're like, I'm not really sure what I'm recording. Am I recording in HD? Was it 1 tap, 2 taps? Am I recording in pro? Without this case in front of you to tell you, especially when it's on your head, it's very difficult. So there are limitations with the camera, or rather I should say a learning curve with the camera. But then once you overcome that, and once you start getting strategic with, actually this is, I only want to record 2-3 minutes here and there and then stitch it all together and make a nice little reel, then this is where this camera is absolutely brilliant over the GoPro. Because with the GoPro, obviously I'm recording now for YouTube, so I'm recording in landscape mode, 16:9, whereas obviously if you want it for Reels and TikToks, you've got to record it in the portrait way. And what's beautiful about this is if you record the Go2 in pro mode, on the fly in editing you can actually change the aspect ratio of it, because it records in a circle, so you can just limit it down. And that's really good to give you that flexibility, because you might go out and think, I just want one quick little shot for my YouTube video, but I might also make a reel out of that at the same time, so you don't have to sacrifice cropping or anything like that. So although it is an action camera, as Insta promote it as, it's not going to be a GoPro replacement for people that go out and do vlogs. Definitely not. I mean, to record this vlog that I'm doing now, I would have to think about it so much. I'd have to pull over to charge, you know, once I ran out of battery. I'd have to have my laptop with me to get the footage off, to free up the internal memory. There's no way of recording the audio, so I'd have to have a separate audio and then stitch that together. But I'm not just stitching it against one long bit of footage, I'm stitching it against multiple short footages. For long footage, the Go is just not built for that, and that's the thing, it is not built for that purpose. It is built to go. It's built for the short, snappy little Instagram reels. So how do I use this camera? Well, I use it for, like, I've got it here to record back in POV. So I've got it here mounted on my handlebars. What I would do is, in the case, it's turned itself off. You press a button to turn it on and connect. It's now connected to the camera. And I press this button here to record. And now you're going to see me here on this footage. Where I really use this Go2 is for the rides where I go out with my mates. So basically, putting a GoPro on your helmet, yes, it's small in its form factor and I've got it in the POV mount, but it does drag. If I turn my head to the side, I will get wind drag at higher speeds. And then I've got the other safety concern where, you know, I'm out with friends, and if I'm recording continuously, you know, if one of them does a wheelie or, you know, speeds too much or what have you, if ever something happened and the police sees that footage, you know, I could be getting everybody in trouble by recording. And then it's also a faff, you know, it's a job. I'm going out and I'm recording everything, you know, it's one continuous record. When I go home, I've got to go through the ride, stitch and edit and everything else. So GoPros are a bit of a pain for that, whereas the Go2 is perfect because it's so form factor, there's no wind drag when you put it on your helmet. And then I literally just go out, press the button. If I've got a nice bit of road here, a nice corner coming up, I'll press the button, I'll get my little bit of recording. You know, when we get to the destination that we're going to, I'll take it off and do a little bit of footage inside, stitch the whole thing together in TikTok or Instagram, and, you know, I've got a nice little 1 minute video from a, you know, 3 hour plus ride. And it's brilliant for that. If you're not following me on the socials, follow me on TikTok and Instagram, and you'll be able to see what I mean by doing this footage. So the pros of the Go2, obviously it's tiny. So you can get some really nice shots with this by, like, putting it through your wheel spokes, or, you know, just moving it around your bike. When it's on your helmet, there is zero drag. It is so nice, you wouldn't even know you've got a camera on there. You can wear it on your body with the magnet mounts, or even like here on my Velamaki rucksack, you can see I've got a GoPro mount here. I put the adapter in and use it on the GoPros. So it's really, really nice to just have on your body. You don't actually know you've got a camera. Case has a little stand in it, so, you know, you could put it by the side of a curb and record yourself doing a little drive-by on there. The other pro is obviously the pro mode. That pro mode I spoke about earlier, where you can shoot in pro mode and then you can adjust, you know, do I want the footage for Instagram or do I want the footage for YouTube? So as an action cam, it is waterproof, it has horizon lock, it has the flow state anti-vibration, and it's really tough. You can drop it, it's not going to do much damage. It's also got lens covers on it, so you can put NDR filters. And also those lens covers protect the lens from scratches. As you can see though, if you're going to give it a bit of beans, the camera obviously won't stay in place. With its size, it's great for like little holiday moments and things like that. Not motorcycle related, but it's brilliant for that. The case is basically just marginally bigger than, say, an AirPods Pro case, which means you can carry it with you everywhere. So usually when I go on a ride, it will just sit in my pocket whether I use it or not. And like I touched on earlier, when you just want to go out and ride and not worry about recording video footage, which you do with a GoPro, you know, not worrying about, you know, the bulk, the faff, this is brilliant. It is what its name lives up to be, just the go. You know, just put it on your helmet and go. Whether you use it or not, it doesn't impact you. So the cons, and now there are quite a few actually, but don't let that put you off, because the cons are really expecting a little bit more out of this tiny camera than, you know, you think. Let's start with the big ones, which obviously Insta are fully aware about and will resolve its hardware, and they will resolve it in every next iteration, and that is, first and foremost, battery. You're only going to get a maximum sort of 20 minutes out of the case, and then you've got to pop it back in the case and you've got to charge it. And like I say, that's not an issue for me, because the way I'm now using it is I pop it on my head, I'm recording like a couple of minutes here, a couple of minutes there, then when I get to my destination I plug it into the case, charge it, and then I've got the same on the way home, so I can get the footage that I need around this sort of 20-minute battery life. The next is storage. So if the battery doesn't catch you out, the storage probably will, and that is, it's got an internal storage and no option for SD card. So the way around that is obviously take the footage off when you get to your destination, but if you're doing it on a laptop, it's nice and quick. You can just plug it in, pull all the footage off, format the memory card, and you're good. If you're doing it on the phone, then the phone's pretty rubbish transfer speeds to get all the footage off, and it just kind of ruins your stop. You know, again, you're working, you're having to pull your phone out, take all the data off. It's just not instant like that, you know. And if it's not instant, you're not going to want to do it. The third thing is the case. So although the camera itself is waterproof, the case isn't. So if it started to rain, I'd need to pull over now, take this off, and obviously my POV view is, you know, out of the window. Unless, of course, I'm using the GoPro mount on the same thing, which you could do, but again, it's faff, you know, I'm going to have to go there, pull it out. Now, those things are hardware issues. They're going to get fixed on the next iteration of, say, the Go3 and the Go4, and they're going to improve it as things go along. And the other thing, which doesn't affect me on the bike but will affect you if you're using this on, well, I used it at, say, Ninja Warrior, is the camera will overheat after about 10 minutes of continuous use. And that was when I used a baseball cap mount. So after 10 minutes it overheated, and it took about another 10 minutes to cool down again. I haven't had that issue on the bike because obviously there's a massive airflow around the camera cooling it. Those issues are hardware and they can't be fixed by software updates, and they're going to get fixed or addressed in future models. So, you know, the Go2 is a massive improvement over the Go1, and I'm sure the Go3 and 4 will start to up the ante on record life and being able to get an SD card in there, which basically is your two main ones. Other negatives I've got is the actual functionality of it. Now, it's quite a big one for me. On the camera here there is a button, and if you press that once it will go into a mode. If you double tap it, it will go into another mode. You set that up in your phone, and then you've got another set. It's whether it's in standby it goes into this mode, or whether it's powered off. Now, I can't tell when it's in standby or powered off when it's on my helmet, so I just program everything. One tap for me is HD, 2 taps is pro recording mode. Just keeps things simple. The button is quite good to get at with a summer glove or ungloved hands, but with a winter glove it's an absolute nightmare. You can't feel where the button is, you don't know if you've pressed it. Now, it has a strong vibration to it when it's enabled, so it vibrates once to say it's on, and then it will give you a long vibrate to say it's off. On the long vibrate, the vibration I can't feel through my helmet, but I can hear it. But of course I use this camera when I'm out with the lads, so we've got comms going, and when people are talking I can't hear the vibration, so I at times don't know if I'm recording or I'm not recording. When you've got the case, now obviously I could take the camera out and put it here and still have the case mounted here, and then that way I can use the case as my indicator to know what I'm recording and when. But again, with the case, these buttons here are very small to get to, so the buttons just need to feel a bit more positive under a gloved hand, and the feedback on there, you just need to feel that you've switched it on and you're recording. The solution, Insta, if you're watching, is very, very simple. Just make a very simple Bluetooth click button that I can mount anywhere. Give me a cable tie so I can mount it anywhere on my bike, and then I press the button and give me a red light in it so I know I'm recording. When the red light's not flashing, I know I'm not recording. That is the very simple, basic answer, and that will work on a range of vehicles. So please, Insta, please give me a button that I can mount somewhere to just see that I'm actually recording. And then a really annoying thing, and I emailed Insta on this and they said they're not planning to do it in any future updates, is at the moment you can record in like 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes and 30 minutes. Well, on a bike, 1 minute is too short and 5 minutes is too long to get these Insta Reel, TikTok captures. What I really want is 3 minutes. And why they haven't put that in, and why they can't just do a quick little software update to give me 3 minutes, I don't know. Because, you know, like, you're coming up and there's a little bit of filtering, hit the button, get yourself in position, then go do the filtering. So you've got a minute to faff around, a minute to record the footage, and then a minute overrun if you like. Why can't they do that? Please, Insta, put in a 3-minute record option. The app itself is a bit clunky. I mean, turn off notifications. It just keeps trying to get you to win medals and, you know, give you tips and all this stuff, and I'm a bit OCD. If I see a message, I want to go in and clear it out, and the messages are just rubbish. Insta, you calm down with your notifications. I've turned them off because, you know, it's not a computer game. I don't need to know I've won a trophy of recording a video today.
Okay, so here's an annoying quirk with the Go2. If you use a USB-C to C, because it's USB-C here, and we plug it in, there is no charging. I'm using the Snap wireless battery pack here. There's a full review on it in my channel. And the reason being is because the Go has to work with a USB-C to A. Now, if I put an adapter on the A and now plug it in, you can see it's charging, which is really bizarre. And also it's just a cable thing. I don't know why, because if I do it the other way around, where I put in USB-C here and USB-C here on the adapter, not charging. It's just bizarre and very annoying. And another annoying quirk to note is you may plug it in and it fully charges, however, it's not actually charging the camera up here. So sometimes you will just have the case shut, you charge it, but all it's done is charge the case and not actually charge the camera. You need to actually open it to engage the camera charging. Again, really weird little quirk. So here we're now editing on the Mac in Insta's Studio 2021 app, and just to show you the options you have in Pro mode. So over here on the right hand side, we're going to start with stabilization type. Now here you can completely disable stabilization, or you enable it and you have flow state, which is the smoothest, or a new FPV stabilization, which was more for drone footage, where you still get a bit of shake, but it dampens it down. But flow state's probably the best that we need. Then in here, you can change on the fly from ultra wide to linear to narrow. Straight away, it's all software, not hardware on this. So this is great when recording in Pro mode. In True Audio, Voice or Action Focus, to be honest, both of them are pretty rubbish. Your project name and the details here. Also, what you've got here is straight away on the fly, I can go from 9:16 to 16:9. So this is what I was saying earlier about switching between TikTok and Insta to YouTube in your aspect ratios. And you could even do 1:1 if you want square footage. And again, you've got all your flow state going down. Now I'm going to use this for
YouTube. So there we have it here. You can take a screenshot, you can go in full screen mode, you can trim, and then you just literally go into your export when you're happy. What you have also got is minimal movement. So you see here, I can actually move it up and I can actually move it down just to frame the shot a little bit better. It's not a great deal, but you know, if the footage was recorded like this, you can see up here on the corners a bit of the circle coming through, but you can then just pull it down and frame it a lot better. And then when you're not using it, you can just shut it like that and that will switch it off.